Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Spelunky. This is episode 39 of our Let's Play, and we're here today to do another sort of themed-ish run. I say themed-ish, it's not really themes, it's just like, this is a thing we're going to do for just this episode. Today I think we're going to do, or we're going to attempt to do, no gold runs. There's our stats as always. And we'll see how it goes. It's going to be interesting. I've done this a few times. I've never been particularly very successful with it, but, you know, I want to keep trying different things. Probably don't want to be the man made of gold to collect no gold, unless maybe he will repulse it somehow. Let's use the Viking Man, whatever. It's all good. So, how have you been? I've been good. Well, I've been alright. I've been all over the place, actually. I was at PAX, as I mentioned, I think in the last episode, and had a fantastic time. Met all of my friends. We got to hang out. We got to do drinking stuff. We got to go meet devs. We got to walk around Boston and have a fun time. And that was totally the highlight of my year. Why did I just do that? I meant to throw that in the other direction, and it just didn't happen. That's really silly. Let's see if I can whip this. Yeah, well, gotta face left for that to happen. Let's just restart our adventure. Clearly, we're off to a good start here. So, alright, now we've got no arrow trap right in the beginning. So PAX was all over the place. We had a really good time. I think everybody that was there had a lot of fun. It was the kind of time that you just wish doesn't have to end. Like, when we got to the last day, it was like, wow, that was, what, 4 days over in what felt like about, like, one long afternoon. All of us were pretty much, like, we're beaten down and tired from, like, the amount of irresponsible non-sleep that we were getting, but still, it was like, it was too fun. You don't want to sleep, you know? Well, I mean, some people did want to sleep, but, you know, they suck, so they eventually learned. We're gonna throw that down there, and there we go. Oh, free bombs. I actually could use the bombs in this run, specifically because I don't have a lot of ways to buy them, so I gotta make the best with what I can. But anyway, the point of me mentioning how PAX went was kind of just to offset. So when I got back from PAX, like, man, PAX depression hits hard. Like, when you realize you're potentially not going to get to hang out with those people again for nearly another year, or, well, I guess if I went to PAX Prime, it would be, like, closer to, what, 4 or 5 months. But still, it's a long time, and it makes you just long for, like, what if we could just all live near each other? Because that's, like, the weird thing is, most friend circles start because they all, like, work in the same place, or they all live near each other geographically in one way or another. And, like, YouTubers don't really have that luxury, like, by any means. We all seem to live on opposite points in the world. You know, having friends in Canada, Australia, Europe, like, all over the freaking place, it's wild. So to be able to get as many people as we did get together for PAX was just kind of fantastic, and I don't know if it'll happen again. I say that hoping that I'm wrong, but, like, it was seriously a lot of us. There was... I think I'll try and do... Did I do the list last time? I think I tried to do the list, and then I got seriously interrupted. But it was like me, Ryan, Josh, Kate, Bear, Mathis, Austin, BizSnap, Fedrin, Architecture, Melio, now I'm going to forget who I said already. Rob, Dennis. If you don't know Dennis, definitely Dennis on... or Definite Dennis on Twitter, but Definitely Dennis on YouTube. Really, really nice guy, by the way. What do I want to do? Oh, I have no gold, right? So I can't really do much of anything. Unless I killed the shopkeepers, I guess is an option. So far, so good, though. RPG was there. Just trying to think if I missed anybody. Inevitably, I think I said someone and probably didn't, but, you know, there were like 12 to 15 of us. Oh, Clint and Brad, of course. Regardless, we were rolling deep, like Rob kept saying, and it's wild to think that that many people could all meet together in the same spot. But yeah, when I got home, I was just like, man, everything sucks. And, like, the first thing I saw when I looked on my YouTube was, like, a bunch of shitty comments and, like, really negative stuff, and then my numbers all sucked, and I was like, wow, everything is awful right now. But, you know, sometimes you need the dark to counterpoint the light, and, you know, it just sort of made me realize... I need to stop, like, languishing in this depressive state. It's not doing anybody any favors, and honestly, I think I don't need to do it. I think I can do without it. How do I do this? And granted, that sounds like I'm being really weird, because it's not like you have control over if you feel depressed or not, because you don't. But sometimes it does go worth mentioning that, you know, I have a lot of friends that have my back, and I kind of forget that sometimes, and it's awful to say, but like, seriously, there's a lot of people that care a lot about me, and you guys too seem to be very much in that same boat. I mean, you've all been super nice and wonderful, and you know, it's weird to get so involved in like worrying about all these like bills and worrying about all the day-to-day minutia of things, and it's like sometimes it's just more to life than that. And that's, I guess, part of the perspective that I gain from, you know, going away for a week is, well, even though things suck right now, they do not necessarily have to, and I do have the power to make them not suck. So why don't we work on doing some of that, and maybe things will start to sort themselves out. So that's the kind of mindset, the kind of mentality that I want to take forward if I can. And you may have noticed I've been a little bit light on content for the last little bit. That's been, well, largely to do with me just getting caught up again and just, like, feeling good to record. This is a thing people never mention, really. Wow, that was a great shot, Spider. People never really mention, but, like, doing YouTube videos and doing streams and stuff, you spend a lot of time managing your energy level. And sometimes you just, like, don't have good food at home, and then all of a sudden you find yourself on a day where, like, you don't have anything, you know, particularly nutritious to eat, and then that day is spent like, okay, now I gotta go food shopping, and by the time I get home it's gonna be slightly late. I won't have as much time to record something, and you know, also I get headaches, so there's like a million factors that come into play, all of which can sometimes interrupt the flow of content, and I hate that that's a thing. I wish it really wasn't. But, you know, I do my best with it, and what I really need to make the biggest priority ever, and pardon for this endless tangent, by the way, but I need to really just make it a priority to really just get a backlog of videos and really stick to it, and really focus as I do what I'm doing to just not get distracted, because, like, this is, and I think a lot of people probably can relate to this, I spend a lot of time, like, I have, like, a good focus of what I want to do for about 20 minutes, and then after I finish one recording, I'll be like, alright, now I'm going to go on Reddit while this video renders, and that's just, like, a bad idea, because it sets off this chain of events. It's like, well, you probably should just record, like, 3 or 4 videos back-to-back, right? Because what am I gaining by taking a break in between, unless it's to eat, which, you know, I do that, of course, but I think the time is better spent, you know, doing a bunch of work all at once. Wow, that was really dumb. He just didn't grab the rope again when I hit up. So far, so good, though. Honestly, we're doing pretty well. This is 2-1, and I still haven't screwed up yet on my first run of the day. All right, let the gold hit him. Now, can I not get involved with this piranha plant, man? Okay. Still, all of the freaking hours I've put into playing Spelunky, and those vines still mess with me sometimes. Alright, so far so good again. Very, very good. What else was I going to say? Oh, perspective is another thing that I forget about sometimes. Like, it's weird spending all the time that I do doing what I do every day, and then I kind of forget sometimes that, like, all of this stuff is turning out to be experiential, right? So, like, the more time I spend making videos, the more I have a grasp of doing what I'm doing, the easier things generally tend to get, and the more streamlined, and hopefully the more efficient and eventually professional they all end up coming out. And that's a thing that you can't really just undo. Like, once you have this experience, chances are it's just going to keep getting better, hopefully, unless something really catastrophic happens, which, you know, is always possible. How do I take out this piranha? I guess I'm going to just jump in the water here. And, yeah, so one thing that I was noticing is, like, in most cases, most of my videos... Oh, God, here we go. Don't get killed. Most of my videos tend to look better and sound better and work better in general. Like, I think I've gotten better at a lot of the things that I do. But I'm starting out this series, like a vlog series, essentially. There we go, we got it. And I don't have a lot of the proper tools that I need for that. Like, I don't have a proper camera for it, and, you know, my usage of audio in that case, not great. I don't really have, like, a studio setup or anywhere to stand to record. So it's just like, make the best of it. But I've always had this mentality, like, I've got to always make things be the best possible, you know, by all means, and that's really generally a good idea to do things like that. But a lot of times I get in my own way, and because of, like, my anxiety issues and all that stuff, I just tend to overthink a lot of things. And in this case, sometimes you just gotta, like, jump in and do some stuff, you know? You spend so much time, like, creating barriers for yourself that it's just silly. And I could have probably had a whole bunch of stuff done already in that series, and I could have potentially, you know, made something out of that. But instead of doing that, I just chose to make walls. And, you know, if anything, I'm trying to make this episode into a, you know, positive experience. But I think a lot of the things I'm coming and saying are coming across in both directions. So hopefully you get what I'm after here. But yeah, the first few episodes of that series are going to probably look pretty bad. But, you know, if people are into it, and it does seem to be a thing that is going to go forward for a while, I will definitely spend some money and sort all that out. Because one of the other things that I've learned, and another one of those experiential things, is that, you know, doing my taxes as a personal business, because that's technically what I am, a full-time YouTuber, this is where my income comes from. You know, there's incentives to get me to put money into making my business work better. And part of making my business work better is having better equipment and all of that. So, you know, everybody wins in that case. And one of my goals for this year is to get all of that stuff sorted out. You know, in 2014, I want to have the equipment that I need to make sure YouTube happens properly. And I have most of it, you know, to be honest. I have a fantastic computer, largely in huge part to due to all of your help. But I also don't have like a great webcam, and I don't really have like a nice camcorder or anything like that for that kind of stuff. Nor do I have access to like a great library of, you know, royalty-free music or any of that. But, you know, I do have like Kevin Lynn McLeod music and all of that. So I'll use and sort all of that stuff out. I'm not saying it like I actually need help there. It's just something that I've made note of. So, you know, there's still a checklist of various factors and things that I want to get taken care of. I did get that Elgato too, which is great, and I've hopefully been making a little bit more usage of it. That's how I was able to do the Dark Souls thing and all of that. I'm waiting for this guy to run at me so I can think again. So, oh, he got his boomerang back. Scumbag. So I've been a little bit hesitant to keep doing the Dark Souls gameplay stuff. By the time this goes up, I'm not sure if I'll have recorded more or not. But if that is the case that I haven't, don't worry too much about it, hopefully. I know there's a few people out there that want to see more of it, but it seemed like it was attracting a lot of really negative stuff, which is like a huge bummer. Granted, I guess that's partially due to my own mentality and mindset while I was recording them. And it seems like depressing stuff begets other depressing stuff, and I think that's just sort of like how things work in reality, so it's something that I kind of have to come to terms with. And if I'm going to do something, like, I want to do it to the best of my ability, as often as I possibly can, but there are usually going to be times for just about everybody where, you know, you slip up, you do something a little bit iffy, and there were certainly some episodes where I was maybe a little bit more negative than I intended to be in that series, and, you know, I think that's hopefully something that most people can look past, since I feel like I do a pretty good job of, well, maybe I'm wrong, but I tried to do my best to let people know, like, where I'm coming from, what my mindset is, and in general, just to be actually me. Like, I don't really care about acting. I'm not one of those people that is good at acting, and I don't really have much interest in it. Granted, I'm sure there's instances when perhaps exaggerating things might be to my benefit, but for the most part, I don't really bother with that stuff. I would love to have this boomerang, but I think that's just not going to happen. Also, I was really hoping that when that exploded, it wasn't going to be full of gold, because that would have been really bad. Anyway, I'm kind of losing track of where I was going with that thought, but in general, you know, I'm going to try to not be quite as negative if I can, and, you know, there's a lot of things to be happy about and to be proud of, and I think I just need to just stop forgetting to look around and, you know, enjoy things. And part of that is also because I think I just work too much, too. I know it sounds really, like, self-aggrandizing or something like that, maybe a little condescending or arrogant. I don't mean it to be that way in the least. I think I just spend too much time only thinking about work, which I think is a problem a lot of people do have, and I'm not sure that there's an easy solution to it other than, like, have your work just not be a factor anymore, which is not really something that most people can do or say. But I love what I do. It's great. I couldn't ask for a possible better job. Sometimes I wish that things worked a little bit more smoothly, but, you know, you don't get what you want all the time. And, you know, no reason to be too salty about that. You just got to do your best to make good opportunities where you can. And the thing is, I'm in a position where I have a lot of opportunities to make good opportunities happen. So really, I don't have that much to be upset about. Alright, let's not get shot with this guy. Alright, wait for it, Oh god! Oh god! Oh, that hurt so bad. You're probably wondering what on earth just went through my mind that ended up in me falling off the world. Because honestly, there was almost no reason for that to happen, but I over-adjusted for the gold pile. Because I saw it and I was like, I'm about to land on the gold, and then I freaked out and I swerved, as it were, with my control stick. That was actually a really good run for my first, having not played Spelunky in a few days, and also my first no gold run that I've tried to do in a while. So I'm going to see... Oh, God, wow. Let's just redo that again. Anyway, what other things that I want to talk about? In general terms, as it pertains to the channel, I do feel like at times I've kind of bitten off more than I can chew with starting off so many different series and everything. You're probably thinking, well, oh, well, you just talked about starting a vlog series and everything. That's a thing that I wanted to do for pretty much the entirety of my channel, and it's one of those things that, like, there's basically no seriality to it. Is that a word? I think that's a word. There's no contiguous nature necessary, you know, you can jump in at any point. It's just me talking about stuff. So I could say whatever I say whenever I say it, and it would have just about the same impact, unless I'm talking about something particularly topical. But I could pretty much say it whenever I want, and it wouldn't really change the point of things, you know. And most people, I think, have a reasonably high penchant for clicking on... Oh, that was weird. Yeah, don't pick up the gold there. They seem to have a high penchant for clicking on things that have to do with, like, personal opinions and, like, direct feedback and interaction. Please don't hit this gold. Can I not pick this up? Really? That's pretty silly. One more step. Oh, I made it! I made it, guys! I really didn't think I was able to fit through that space. But another thing that I want to do in general is just try not to just keep starting stuff and not finish it. I know that pisses people off too, and like it shouldn't even be a factor that that's a thing that happens, but it kind of is. You know, there's a lot of times where I start something and immediately kind of lose interest in it, or there's a reason that I lost interest in it. One of those things was like, you're probably wondering, like, what happened to Crystal Catacombs? Why did I stop playing that? Because I really did enjoy that game, and I still do. It's not, there's nothing wrong. Oh, I killed him. That's a waste. Well, maybe I should carry him in case I can sacrifice him. But I never stopped enjoying the game. It was just that I kind of reached this point where it's like I kind of broke the save system, and I just didn't really want to deal with figuring out how to make the Let's Play work around that, which is super silly because I was only like 3 episodes into it. So in that case, it was like there's a little stupid, silly excuse of why I said that that's a thing, and I never actually officially ended it, so maybe I'll go back and finish it one day, but I don't know. It's probably not going to happen, to be perfectly honest. It just doesn't feel like it. Same with Our Darker Purpose. That one is like, I don't know, I think I just wanted to play it for like a couple days, and then it just sort of wasn't as entertaining as I was thinking it was going to be. And, you know, no offense to the devs. I mean, I think it's a good game. I just think it wasn't grabbing me quite as hard as I thought it was going to when I first started. And that's not to say that I put in, like, a ton of hours into the game either. It's just, like, I guess it just quickly wore off. And I find that, and people have told me this a dozen times, and I kind of knew this already, and I just probably should echo it more in my actual content. But, you know, the times when I think everybody's enjoying things are the times when I'm also enjoying them the most. I mean, that's also kind of the weird track that we got off on with the Dark Souls thing, right? Like, I just kind of wasn't having as fun time playing Dark Souls 2. For a variety of reasons that I've discussed in other videos. I just don't think that it's as fun. I just don't really enjoy Dark Souls 2 as much as I enjoyed Dark Souls 1. Doesn't mean it's a bad game, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with it. It just didn't grab me, I guess, the same way. With Dark Souls 1, for some reason, I just wanted to keep playing it over and over again, and this one, it's just kind of like, well, I've seen a lot of what this has to offer, and now it just feels like repetition a little bit. But granted, there's still plenty of ways to approach the game that are entirely different from what I've done already, and that's totally cool. And that's what I was trying to get out of that playthrough, was that there were other things that I could do with it that were kind of emergent and fun and different. And the reason I was making such a big fuss out of doing a Shrek through, because, like, of all things, it's just kind of ridiculous, was because I was just enjoying the total just brazen insanity of having a character, basically, that doesn't really have armor or weapons. You know, who does that? It doesn't, well, plenty of people probably do that, but I don't normally do that, because I'm not the most fantastic at most video games. You know, I don't really try to claim that I am either, so hopefully that's a thing that people understand. I feel like I say it a lot now, but, you know, if you're around the channel enough, hopefully you get the theme of how I am and what I do and the things that I'm good and bad at. And I try to wear them on my sleeve if I can, because I think everybody is happier for that. Like, I'm not trying to mislabel myself or be somebody I'm not. I'm just, you know, I'm just me. And I play Spelunky with Tomato Mod, and that's, you know, part of the experience. I forgot, actually, when I booted this up, it says Smash Mouth instead of the actual developer. Oh, did I just pick up... Wow, I thought I had picked up gold there, but I didn't. That is fantastic. Oh, you know, another thing to do with perspective, I was mentioning that earlier. You ever just, like, come back to something that you haven't looked at in a while, and it just is... It leaves a totally different impression on you? Because that just happened to me with... this band, Coheed and Cambria. It's like, for I don't know how many years now, like 10 years? Is it 10? Would it be 10 years? 2014? Maybe 8, 5, somewhere in there. That amount of years. I've not been sure how I feel about that band, and every so often I go back and listen to it again, and I'm like, you know what? I like this band, except I just can't get into the singer. And for some reason, just today, I just put it on again, which is a thing that I do all the time. Oh, God. That was wild. And today is the day that I decided apparently I don't mind the singer anymore. And I don't know why that changed or what changed about it, but some weird collision of random happenstance in my mind lined up to make me think that I don't mind that singer anymore, and that's kind of cool. And it just makes you wonder. It's like life is sort of a weird Metroidvania in that way. Like, all of a sudden you find that you unlock the super missiles and you can go back and go through some green doors that you forgot existed. Oh, I got freaking gold. Ah, Glods. Oh, I didn't want the Glods this time. Usually I do. That's another thing, too. I gotta keep speedrunning freaking Meat Boy. I love that game. So good. I don't know if I want to do another run. I feel like, is this about enough? There's another thing I wanted to mention, actually, before we finish up. I did want to go back to Terraria. That's another... this has just turned into a channel update video, hasn't it? But yeah, the series never ended, and I never tried to make it sound like it ended. In fact, I tried pretty hard to make it sound like it didn't end, but I think people thought it did anyway. And for a lot of the same reasons, probably, since they've seen so many other series that I've started just sort of taper off and disappear. I wanted to just keep going with that series because it's really fun and I love that game a whole bunch, and I don't really get bored of it for the most part. The thing I do have happen, though, is that sometimes I just lose things to talk about. Sometimes I just kind of run out of stuff to do with my character that would be entertaining, but I could probably play the game pretty much indefinitely by myself. So yeah, there's supposed to be a big patch coming up, and I'll probably go back and play a bunch more of that, and maybe I'll even bring it back to being daily for a while anyway. I'm not sure if that's really going to stick or anything, but I've just been more interested in probably playing that than I have been for Dark Souls 2. And again, that's not saying that that series is over either. I actually was just kind of in a stupid, frustrating spot with that, being stuck up against a boss that honestly won't be difficult when I just decide to man up and just beat it. Yeah, there's today's out-of-context statement. There's always got to be one, right? How come the spider doesn't get stuck on its own webs? I guess that's the question for the day. Spiders probably produce some sort of, like, protein on their ends of their feet or something, maybe, that are able to make them not stick. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I knew the answer to that at some point from watching the Discovery Channel, but they don't show much on the Discovery Channel anymore except for gold shows, and we covered that in a prior episode. So what are you going to do? There we go. There's a little downward strike on that. I guess I should probably... Oh, God. Well... That was quite a reversal of fortune. I was literally just about to say I should probably try and speed up my gameplay, because this looks like it could end up being an okay run. And the answer to that was, here's an arrow, you'll die. And then I land on spikes. I actually thought I wasn't even going to land on the spikes, and then, well, the character just kind of took care of that by itself, didn't it? At least I got this freaking gold thing. I'm happy about that. I wish they'd go ahead and make Spelunky, too. I want to play more Spelunky. I want to play more progression-based Spelunky, but I guess I still have a lot to learn. Despite all the hours I've put in. Anyway, I think we pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover with this video. I'm sure there's plenty of other concepts that I could have gotten into that branched off of some of the stuff that I was discussing, but I can leave that for another day. Not sure why I choose to do these types of update videos in my Spelunky videos, because honestly, like, probably the least people watch these out of some of my other series. I probably should have done it on a Terraria one, but whatevs. Or I probably should have done it on, like, an actual vlog video, because that's actually probably where those should belong from now on. But I'll sort it all out. There's going to be maybe a revitalization of things. That's what I'm hoping, anyway, between, you know, reorganizing what I want to post on a semi-daily basis. I mean, indie impressions, obviously, is not going anywhere. But, you know, when it comes to Let's Play series and auxiliary stuff, I still want to have weird, you know, one-off videos on occasion. I still want to do occasional... random little mini-series of things, and of course I want to keep the series that I'm just enjoying playing the games of, meaning like Terraria and Spelunky specifically. Those are not going anywhere. But now we're going to add in a vlog series, and I want to try and do some occasional more professional stuff too, because I get into that, and I think if I have any hope to ever get anywhere with the channel, like anywhere more substantial than I'm already at, and I say that like I'm not somewhere, but anyway, sorry about all that. But I think probably I should do some more, more edited content. I think that would probably be beneficial. Also, I just want to like get better at doing video editing because I started out doing all this stuff with zero experience in that really, and I think I've gotten better. Hopefully, I've gotten better, and that's kind of tying back to what we were talking about before about how it's all experiential, and life is just one big Metroidvania. Maybe when I get fired from YouTube, and that's whatever, YouTube shutting my channel down or something, maybe I could get a job doing video editing, because honestly, I love doing it. It's really fun. I just don't like to put too much on my plate sometimes, which is where I end up getting lazy, because then I go in the other direction, or I get, not enough energy, or I feel like whatever I'm going to say isn't worth saying, and, anxiety stuff. Anyway, thank you as always for watching. If you're still into the series, let me know. I do appreciate all the comments. I read every single one of them still. I might not reply to all of them, but I do integrate them into my mind for the next episode, and a lot of times I'll find myself thinking of things that people said on the prior one to bring up and discuss, so, if you want a chance at me mentioning something you said, leave a comment. I appreciate it. It makes the whole experience so much more cohesive and enjoyable for everyone. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it. But yeah, if you enjoy it, consider leaving a like. Helps me out a whole bunch, and I will see you for the next one. Thank you, everybody. Later.